All right, I started clicking away and I forgot I was going to record this. So this is my club game, round two. We the subs. We won round one. Yay! I am playing Art Metis. I'm allies. I'm in the allies one seat. He's in the Axis one seat. So I'm going to be recording my turns on this. I'm also going to record my turns in the same videos, probably video chain. We'll see. Um, of when I play the team game. Uh, where myself, John Roberts, and Zuski take on the uh, Axis team for who are we playing? I already forgot the Howitzers. That's what they are. They're the Howitzers. So, all right. So here we go. We're getting rolling right into it. Yeah. 3 hits. 3 hits. There we go. All right. No more than one. Oh, that's more than one. Yeah. That's not pretty. That pretty much takes off the hit and retreat. If I get it with 3 tanks left, I pretty much got to go through, get a good Ukraine. Oh, that's not a good Ukraine. That really is not a good Ukraine. Well, thankful there, I guess. Ah, oy. This is going to be a tough game. I can tell that now. Oh man, can I even do 4 infantry two? That's, oh man, what does that come to? I gotta have an AA in West Russia because he could just smash West Russia. Oh, or he could smash Caucasus here, right? Because he's gonna have what, one, two, an infantry and 3 tanks that could hit there, plus what, one, two, 3 fighters, is it? If I'm remembering right? Yeah, 3 fighters and the battleship. Ay. What do we want to do about this? I mean, I can march this infantry over and hope that 2 infantry, 2 fighters are enough to discourage or to defend well. I mean, that's better than the other options. I think I got to do that. Man, I hate doing that. I really don't like doing that. I am still going to leave my one Russian back. I almost really should take him as well, but I want him to have to use his fighters his airplanes in many different places other than Szechuan here to disperse their uses. Yeah, bummer of a start. And I know Art Metis, he's a solid player too. So, all right. Oops. There we go. Round one. Um, stay tuned. I'll probably just save this video and add the other ones on as I get some of those other turns in. Okay, so before we get further into the game, I figured I should take a second and talk a little bit about club and what exactly it is. So it's a team game, um, and basically, uh, my team is the subs here, which has me, Antron Golden, Dan, John Roberts, and Zuski, are our players on this team. And so it consists of two divisions of 8 teams. Here's the 8 teams and all the players. And basically, in each division, you can play all the teams 3 times. So we won our first match. We played the fighters. We scored 12 points. They scored 9 points. And basically, here's what it looks like. So there's 7 games in a match. First game was fighters had their 3 players. We had our 2 players. The fighters, they won that game, so they got 4 points because the team games are worth 4 points. And the flip one, where they were Axis and we were allies, we won that one, so we got 4 points. And then we assign an allies number 1 player, or well, in this one, the fighters allies number 1 plays our Axis number 1, which was Odd Bjorn versus Dan. Odd won. He got 3 points. So these number 1 games and the wild card game are all worth 3 points. And so Slevin, Antron Golden represented us as our allies number 1. He won that, so we got 3 points. And the wild card game, what that comes to is it's randomly decided who is Axis and who is allies. And so I faced off on against Gambia there. I ended up as Axis as it was. I pulled out the win in that game, so we got 3 points. And then our same thing with the number 2 players. These games are worth 2 points. So John Roberts took on Circus Drama. Circus Drama won that one. Zuski took on Inf, which is for those that watch the YouTube videos, goes by Cobra. So that's his Discord name, but his actual Axis and Allies name is Inf. So you add all those up. We ended up with 12 points. The fighters had 9 points. So we won match number 1. So now we're on to round number 2, to match number 2. And I wish I could blow this up. I apologize. I know it's small. But this is what we got facing now. So again, we're using the same uh, Allies team and Axis team. We did mix up the roles a little bit. So I did US in the first one. I'm doing UK or Britain this time. John, who did UK last time, is doing Russia. Zuski was Russia, is doing US this time. And so as a team, we're facing Yoda and Archmedes. And meanwhile, as you saw my round 1 game I started, I am facing as Allies 1. I'm facing Archmedes as their Axis 1. And unfortunately, like we said, round 1 dice did not go well. So in this series of videos, I'm going to be following this game, my one-on-one versus Archmedes, as well as I'm going to be highlighting our game of our team game going on as well. So here we go. This is back to where I left off. So Art, he went and loaded up on Ukraine, which is pretty much to be expected. Positive. There's no German boats sitting up here in Sea Zone 7. You can see he took out my destroyer, so he obviously did a sub that way. Oops, wrong one. Let's go here. So he did a bomber buy, so we gotta be mindful of the bomber. Meanwhile, Corellia 17, the battleship took out the destroyer. Transjordan, he lost the infantry, so that's good. Let's see, Sea Zone 10. Oh, yeah, that's where we lost our destroyer. He lost a sub. But Sea Zone 7, look at this, check this out. He lost a fighter there, actually. So he lost 2 subs cruiser, and he also lost a fighter there. So that leaves him with just 4 to be able to attack Sea Zone 7 or 8. Might as well be Sea Zone 8, right? So that we can go ahead and get Northwest Europe. So if I drop a carrier, I could also drop it with a transport. Cruiser, 2 fighters. That would give me 4. But we also might need to help West Russia out because he's obviously pressing that early yuck of a 4 infantry West Russia and not taking Ukraine. So The other option, we could do the traditional destroyer carrier, put one fighter here, and the cruise that give me 4 versus his 4, and I could send one fighter over. And so let's see, that gives him 13 infantry, 9 tanks, that's 22, 23, 24. These guys are out of range, so we'll have 24 units going into there. If we just turtled everybody up, we're going to have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 18, 21, plus the fighter coming over is 22 with those double AAs. We might be okay. That might be a calculator question, so. So yeah, so if we just turtle everything into West Russia, plus the one UK fighter, it throws it up as a toss-up, which, you know what, um, a toss-up may not be a bad thing, especially with that start that we had. I think we're going to see if we can slow Japan down. We're going to try doing our sub build, see if maybe he'll overreact and only build 2 transports. And we'll go from there. So yeah, let's go carrier destroyer. Oops. We're going to grab a sub and an infantry. Let's go with it. What the heck? Since he has the battleship and the bomber, and he didn't have the infantry alive, I'm gonna choose to block the tank and leave 1 infantry back. I think, unless things go poorly, in which case I may change my mind. As always, I'm letting the battleship live. If y'all watch me long enough, y'all know I do that. I don't like to use the tank. I like to leave the tank back there and he can come back and help protect Alaska. Um, just because it's an easy kill for him later, right? And I'd rather save the tank for something better. So, what can we hit with the bomber? We don't have anything to hit. Let's see. What can we hit with the bomber? We could bomb Germany, I suppose. What about this guy? If we picked him off, then Russia could blitz, and that would be 1 less attacker and make me a slightly better favor. 2, 3, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that'd still give me protection down here from these guys. And it doesn't get me stuck in Kaza because of this bomber. Unfortunately, he can take out this guy, so I'm not even counting on the US fighter, which may be risky here as it is, but we'll see. Because I had to move the infantry up. That leaves me thin here, even with my fighter going there. He may choose to go for that with the 2 fighters sitting there. In which case, again, I feel way behind after that Russia one, right? So I'm willing to take the risk. You gotta, when you're behind, you gotta take some risk. I'm playing their top Axis player. I'm gonna have to play, like I'm playing the top Axis player, and so we'll let him make that choice and whether he wants to take that risk. Debated we could play with one of the shots of the send in the transport, and if he wins, then we could always send the carrier to block his other transport there. Um, but I like using the transport to help dead zone all this mess. So I don't think I'm going to go for that. Although it's tempting. When you use that transport, if you take Borneo, then you can move your carrier here, and you're killing this transport. He has no transport to test. J1, they can't retake Borneo. And so it becomes quite the annoyance. Of course, you're trashing your carrier and doing that. And I hate trashing your cruiser, or excuse me, your transport and your carrier. And I hate trashing my transport and carrier, which I'm sure y'all realize that by now. All right, I think we're just gonna. I am gonna go ahead and see if we can pick this guy off. It'll help Russia out, and hopefully Bomber lives. We gotta take risk. We gotta live. Well, there's our good dice. All right, good. A miss. That's nice. I'll have to relook at that whole TJ if it's better to leave the infantry in Egypt or to move him back, because, well, unfortunately, we just don't know. I can't count on the U.S. fighter. Normally, I'd like to say I'd count on the U.S. fighter to come help support, but we can't even count on that, can we? Five. 3 will work. I'm conceding. I hate doing this. Conceding Caucasus. I'm sure he'll move his Japan fighters in so that he can then go 1-2 and land on there. Let's see. Normally I only move like 2, but I'm going to move 3 back here, and it's going to be a very weak hold on here, so he can move in potentially 3, 5, and then I'd be able to attack with 3 infantry, because I'm building 1 and a bomber. It's a little bit thin, but I want to have a little bit extra to be able to maybe do some sort of kick on the Caucasus back here. I didn't do any calculators on this. I'm just kind of running. I'm trying to play this game a little bit. Oops. Oh, shoot. I'm glad I did that. I almost forgot about these guys. So, this is one I'm going to check with him before I finalize this move that he's okay with me making this move. I always do this. When I make that move, I always check with my opponent. Um, so, So that's what you're going to see. Either that sub's going to be there, or I'll end up pulling the sub back to 30 if he doesn't like it. And either my infantry will be in Egypt, or I might move him back to TJ. I'm just going to see what that calculation looks like real quick. I think I'm probably going to lean towards leaving him in Egypt, to be honest. So, all right, I'm gonna pause the video here for a second. I almost forgot. We're gonna go to the other game. It looks almost identical. So for our team game, oh, nope, that's the wrong game. Clicking too fast. Here we go. So for our team game, you can see we had 5 infantry, so 1 more infantry survived. We had a better Ukraine, though. We had 3 tanks and an artillery and an AA sitting in there, so they had to go after that. Again, Germany, no ships living in C-Zone 7. He did take Iceland, which is always a move that they can take. Um, Again, I got destroyer cruiser. He's got 5 fighters. He did not do a bomber build. He did 11 infantry, 2 artillery, so he's got 5 fighters that could hit C-Zone 8. Because obviously with a France sitting there open and everything, no German ships living, I'm going to take that. I'll build a carrier. I got destroyer cruiser. I got 2 fighters again, so that gives me 5 units there. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to build a transport, I think. So we're going to go transport carrier here. He had the infantry live here, so that makes this a little bit more of a challenge. But no bomber. So again, that's a positive there. Figure out what we want to do on that. This is interesting. So 11, 7, and 4. We got 13, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 units that can hit the 11. I mean, normally it's what, like 8 and 5? Yeah, it's normally 8 and 5 because the transport normally brings the other infantry and tank. So this is it's a risky, but I think it may be worth the strafe there. We'll have to figure that out as a team. So again, I could send fighters in there and do a destroyer build, send a fighter in. These 4 infantry on there should be a advantage. Yeah, I think Russia should be okay on its own. I'm not pulling out the calculators and whatnot. And again, I think we're gonna see what it'll give me. So 1, 2. We got no German bomber, so we can land more here safely this turn. And I can take out that transport with the bomber. Or I could just take him out with the fighter and I could use a bomber for something else, right? Not sure I have anything else for the bomber to use him for, though. So what the heck? I think we're going to do a sub buy again. Just because I want to play it for fun. Like I said, these games are playing for fun. I think we are going to buy the transport. Get an extra little earlier hit going up here. We don't have to worry about protecting Caucasus as much, so we don't have to worry about, sending as many back into Persia. Alright. I think this is what we're going to do. One, two, three, four. I mean, we could land them in Caucasus. I mean, we should be safe there, but things could go bad here, and he'll have the battleship. And I don't know. I want to make sure John Roberts has some different options there. So I don't think I want to do that. We'll go there. Oh. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do this to try and get a quicker kill and make sure I don't lose anything but an infantry in there. On this case, when they got the 2 here, I like to send everything. And they only have the artillery, I like to leave the 1 infantry to have a decision. Oh, don't want to forget about this guy. Alrighty. Mm, there we go. Very good. Okay. Phew. There we go. Okay. Ooh, a double whiff. Nice. Same thing. When I do my sub drop, I'm always setting it up this way. Um, I actually prefer building a fighter or a bomber down here and not dropping a fleet when I do my sub drop, but there's no way I couldn't drop a fleet here. Did I not do anything with the bomber? I forgot to do anything with the bomber. Might as well bring him all the way on down this way then, I think. Alright. Again, I'm not actually going to end my phase because I'm going to check with Art, make sure he's okay with me doing that. If he's not, then again, I'll end up moving this up somewhere else. And I might end up changing my positioning here. So we got both of those. Yep. Alright. So we'll go back into that one real quick. You notice it's a slightly different go, just simply because of the results of what happened over here. So, I brought two back, I was able to bring my bomber on down here. So now my bomber can help threaten 61, um, as well as the sub I'll be dropping here. All right, I'm going to end the recording here, and then we'll find out what he says.